All right, and welcome into Weather Extra. Tania joining us again for Weather Extra Tania. Big election day out there. We did have some showers across the area.
I call it the nuisance weather. It was on and off pretty much all day. I saw many people standing out voting in those long lines with their umbrellas and their rain jackets, which, Wes, that means they listen to us.
That's right. That's right. A good thing. And tonight, there's still some polls that are open. The St. Clair County is going to be until, it was extended until 9 o'clock. So if you're heading out to vote in those areas, still some showers that are out there. Of course, we're waiting on election results. Of course, we'll have that coverage coming up right here on WBRC, so you'll certainly want to stay tuned for that. Our news team's certainly busy at this time. But let's talk about our weather. The next big thing that we are tracking right now, we do have a couple of scattered showers that are moving north around Birmingham. You can see there's some very, very light precipitation out there. It's not too heavy. Let's go on for a closer view here, though, on radar. We've had this broad southerly flow that's in place across the area, and that's bringing these showers in from south to north. Right now around Childersburg, a little bit of rain, very light stuff. Our weather watchers were checking in earlier down into Shelby County. We had 0.19 of an inch of rain reported, I believe, from John King, our weather watcher there, and down into Jemison. Lynn Hall also reporting the rain amounts just under 0.2 of an inch of rain. But right now, some showers, and we'll see more of this tomorrow. Tonight, the coverage might lessen up, but still, we have this flow from the south that will generate a little bit of rain again for tomorrow. I zoomed into Birmingham. I want to get back to the weather maps here. I want to show you, we had some breaking traffic information. This is actually Interstate 65. That's right there in Hoover at Highway 31. You can see it is bumper to bumper. There are slowdowns. We've got lanes that have been shut down on 65. Not only there, but also 459. Look at this. I'm going over to our traffic system just to show you. You can see some slowdowns on 280 right there. That is the southbound lane approaching the Summit. You can see some slowdowns happening there. There's 459. Looks like a little movement happening. I know it was at a standstill at one point. That's a westbound lane there, 459. Also some slowdowns coming through Birmingham. So a lot of folks out there, and a lot of you have been trying to get out and vote before the polls close, and that's why we've been seeing a lot of traffic out there for today. But just wanted to give you a first alert update. Some big delays around our area for tonight. All right, let's talk about the next big thing later this week. We don't see it often, but a November hurricane. It's developing right now, and it's over the Cayman Islands. This is not radar. This is the satellite image. This is an enhanced satellite image, so we apply these colors. You can really see where those colder cloud tops are, and this looks much different than it did when you checked in with us yesterday. It's becoming better organized, expected to grow into a Category 1, possibly Category 2 before it makes landfall in Cuba. Happens late tomorrow and into Thursday. But look at this. Into Thursday, it's still a hurricane as it moves over the Gulf of Mexico, and it starts this little turn. We were seeing that in the forecast track, but as we noted, see a track starts to turn it back to the north and eventually back in our direction. So what's going to happen, we'll see some moisture from this that will enhance our rain chances, and that's what's going to happen later this week. We'll see possibly a landfall around Louisiana. Of course, that means for Alabama fans traveling down to the LSU game, JSU's over at La Tech, plan for the possibility of some wet weather. And again, tropical storm looks to be the story at landfall with this. We're not seeing a Cat 5 hurricane or anything like that. We do expect it to weaken a little bit, but increasing rain chances for our area. We'll see those rain chances ramping up again starting on Friday. But meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us right now, and Matt's going to be telling us a little bit about what we're seeing currently in the terms of the temperature trends and what we typically see during the month of November.
All right, we are getting ready for the holidays. Veterans Day's next week, just 6 days away. Thanksgiving, 23 days away, and 50 days until Christmas. And so you're thinking the holidays, you're thinking cool weather. Well, it's been unusually warm. In fact, yesterday, Tuscaloosa, you broke a record. It wasn't a record high, it wasn't a record low, but it involved the low temperature. It was a daily high minimum. So that means the warmest low temperature. So yesterday you had a low of 67, which was warmer than the previous low of 63 back in 2015. And we're breaking these kind of records more frequently over the past 10 to 15 years than we ever had, just because there's more humidity and moisture, and it allows those temperatures from not falling as much. In fact, today, Tuscaloosa, you so far had a low of 69. Now, if we can get through 11:59 tonight and not drop below 68, we will break another daily high minimum when it comes to that. So we're going to be watching that as well. The record for today was 68 back in 2003. So where should we be when it comes to these morning temperatures? Been unusually warm. Typically we're in the 40s at this point. So in November 1st, we should see lows right around 47 degrees. And by the end of November, we're normally seeing those low temperatures right around the upper 30s and lower 40s. So we have been well above average. And as you can see in the forecast for the next several days, the temperatures remaining well above average in the 60s. In fact, if you're looking at Thursday, that could be one of our warmer morning temperatures. So I decided to do a little bit of a research to look at those daily high minimum temperatures for tomorrow or for November 7th. And as you can see for Birmingham, it's 67, 66 in Tuscaloosa, and 66 in Anniston. So we'll be interested if we can maybe tie or break those records. They were all set back in the year of 2000. What about average high temperatures? It's also been unusually warm to start out this month. Typically, we'll see those temperatures in the 60s for highs. Notice by November 5th, 69 is an average high, 67. And by the end of the month, we usually see those temperatures for high temperatures in the lower 60s. So could we break some records there? Well, for November 6th, there's a chance, depends on how much sunshine we see, and if we see some breaks from any rain or anything like that, we could get kind of close to it. I don't think we're going to tie or break it, but it could be very close with upper 70s likely. 82 is the record in Birmingham, 83 in Tuscaloosa, and 81 in Anniston. We'll keep you updated and let you know if we break any or tie any of those records over the next coming days.
Well, thanks, Matt. One of the big things happening still over the next couple of hours is that many of you still trying to get out to vote. So time is ticking. You better hurry up. There's only a few polls that have been extended, like in St. Clair County till 9 p.m. But I still want to give you guys that update on what to expect over those next couple of hours. So a few showers will still be possible throughout this evening. Here we are at 8 p.m. seeing a little bit of wet weather pushing through St. Clair County there. Temperatures in the 70s through this evening, upper 60s just around 9 p.m. for you all. And we're actually going to possibly see a little bit more wet weather in those overnight hours starting in our western counties. But again, for that election day hour by hour forecast, 7 o'clock, low 70s for most of us, winds under 10 miles per hour. By 8 o'clock, staying in the low 70s, but again, keep in mind that 20% rain chance still stands throughout your evening. So if you're heading out to any of those polls and you haven't had a chance to, you better hurry, but also don't leave the house without that umbrella and that rain jacket just in case. Well, all of this comes after a cold front brought election day showers and thunderstorms across the central portion of the United States. While large parts of the east and west coast remain dry, the passing frontal boundary brought rain not only to our area, but from St. Louis to Chicago as well. And with cooler air over much of the Rockies and plains, parts of the Northwest had the likely really have a chance for snow. Can you believe it? On the temperature side, most of the country is experiencing above average readings, while western portions of the country are seeing pockets of chilly air. And in Arkansas, a possible tornado causing extensive damage to some homes in the Little Rock area yesterday afternoon. There were at least 3 confirmed tornadoes throughout northwest Arkansas and northeast Oklahoma. Thankfully, aside from damaged homes, there were no fatalities or reported injuries, according to the city's mayor. This comes after the community is still trying to rebuild after the tornado hit the town more than 5 months ago. The mayor saying his heart goes out to those who lost their homes. And in Southern California, some towns are at risk of losing power due to strong winds. Joy Benedict has the story.
It was just one of those days.
Weather sucks.
Where the wind ripped through the trees, kept the flags busy, and knocked over trash cans all over Southern California. But in Fontana, things just felt worse.
They say, oh, you have winds, but this is like hurricane winds. This is like a different type of winds.
As neighbors, young and young at heart, feel the pain of Mother Nature's puff.
Dry. I'm very dry.
It always messes up my hair.
Strip all the fruits off our trees and send the garbage cans down the street.
Trying not to get dirt in your eyes and trying to make sure stuff doesn't knock over and people don't get hurt.
Whatever the woe, most of it's manageable until they lose power.
Kind of stuck inside, no internet. So yeah, sometimes we leave, go shopping, do some other things.
This community in Fontana is one of dozens across the area that are on alert of the possibility of a power outage from SoCal Edison, as the concern is the strong winds could topple power lines and, worst case scenario, start a fire.
I'd rather have no power than have a fire.
More than 60,000 customers are on alert in San Bernardino County alone, but as much of a nuisance as it would be, neighbors say they understand.
It's a good thing. We should be prepared. I mean, especially if you have medical equipment at home or something, you're going to need to know.
So they grin and bear the breeze, and hopefully the winds stay calm enough to keep the lights on.
No, they don't need to shut off the power. They don't need to shut. There's no need.
It's not as bad as it usually is.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're speaking with an expert after the break on how to keep your home feeling comfortable during these warm and cool days, of course, during this fall season. We'll be right back. You are watching First Alert Weather Extra. Alrighty, everyone, we are back, and you are watching First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Tania Michelle here, still dealing with lots of drought across the nation, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about those winds right now across the area. We're seeing those winds gusting up closer to 25 miles per hour in West Alabama, so it's a little breezy out there this evening. If you're going to be out late tonight, keep in mind that that little breeze could make it feel a little chilly as you are outdoors. But here's a look at our First Alert rain chances over the next several days. We're going to see increasing rain chances as we approach your Friday and your Saturday. Watching the tropics very closely. Sunday, slightly drier. That rain chance starts to decline just a little bit. But we'll continue to give you updates as we look at that full 10-day or 7-day forecast coming up right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, Tania, and some breaking news right now. A First Alert Rafael's now a Category 1 hurricane, so we'll continue to track that coming up. As we head into those days where temperatures can start off on the cool side, we end up warm during the afternoons. That's what we've been seeing. Meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez speaks with our friends at On Time Services, I should say, about how you can keep your home comfortable throughout the entire day.
Fall is the time of the year where we can see warm days or even days on the cooler side, leaving you wondering how you should keep your house feeling comfortable. Today I'm joined by Kerry Atkins with On Time Service as he gives the ins and outs on how to keep your thermostat at a good level while potentially saving money. Kerry, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, I want to start asking you, what is the best setting option for the thermostat when we have warm afternoons and cool or cold mornings? How can we decide when to turn the heating or cooling on?
Right. Well, so part of that depends on what kind of thermostat you have and how you have got it set up. So a lot of thermostats, you can put it in an automatic setting and you set the temperature and it will change from heat to cool as it needs to. With a lot of those thermostats, they build in sort of a variance there because you don't want to like put it on 72 and then if it gets 73 the air conditioner comes on and then the air conditioner gets into 71 and the heat comes on. So it just cycles like that, and that's what you don't want to get into. So if you have one of those and it doesn't have that built-in sort of buffer in there, then I would suggest that you make that buffer maybe 5 or 6 degrees. Okay, so like if you go, okay, I'm going to let it get to 76 during the day, but I don't want it to get down below 70 at night, and you set it there and it'll just kind of do its thing. What you don't want to get into in either case is that really tight temperature setting where you're forcing your system to continually flip back and forth. That's just going to cost you money, and making your system swap back and forth like that's making it do a lot of work. So stay away from that. Just make sure that we've got enough variation in there that when the air conditioning comes on, it has time to run for a while, and then when the heat comes on, it has time to run for a while.
That's very interesting. And do fans and space heaters help? Do they make a difference, really?
So ceiling fans definitely make a difference. And if you have a reversing ceiling fan, you can use it both ways. So in the normal setting, the ceiling fan blows air down. And anytime you can circulate air in the house, it will make you feel a little bit cooler than you are if no air is moving. So what a lot of people find is that they can combine a ceiling fan with their air conditioner, set their thermostat 3 or 4 degrees higher, run the ceiling fan, and still feel comfortable. Once we swap over to heating season, you can run that fan in reverse, and what it does is it just blows air up toward the ceiling because hot air rises, and so all that heated air is going to go up on your ceiling, just kind of sit there. You run the fan backwards and it forces it back down into the room where you are, closer to sort of ground level, and it makes it feel more comfortable again.
Come on Weather Extra as we continue to talk about the possible impacts from the newly formed Hurricane Rafael, and we take you beyond the 7-day. Plus, we're sharing some of your First Alert weather app photos as we continue right here. It's Election Day. We're going to have lots of coverage tonight. Stay with WBRC. And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. We've had some scattered showers moving south to north across the area. Later tonight, not seeing a lot of wet weather, but we still could have some of that misty sprinkle type weather early tomorrow morning. Just a nuisance, you know, early in the day, so you may need to flip on the windshield wiper. 6 o'clock in the morning, looks like some of these showers over into East Alabama will be more likely as opposed to West Alabama. But watch out in the afternoon as well. Could see a little bit of developing shower activity, a few scattered showers. Not a steady be all day rain, but we will, much like today, see some of those showers moving south to north. And then by the end of the week, by Friday, rain chances start to ramp up. We now have Hurricane Rafael, and we can just see it here looking at the view from space. It's well organized. It's going to be tracking across Cuba as a hurricane. But once this thing gets into the northern Gulf of Mexico, the upper air wind patterns are not as favorable, so it seems like it might start to weaken some as it approaches the coast. You can see as it, of course, moves across the land, that will weaken it some, but then it starts to take on a turn. You can see it starts to interact with some wind shear, and that's when it's expected to weaken into a Category 1. Now, there's a big cone of uncertainty on where the actual center of this could go. The center of the forecast track from the Hurricane Center takes it in towards Louisiana, but there's a chance that it might go a little bit further west or east. I still think, regardless, some of that moisture you see there is going to start to work north, and that's going to enhance our rain chances starting Friday and through the weekend. Right now, it looks like maybe Saturday and Sunday, perhaps, the greater chance of seeing some rain off of this weekend, and then it looks like in the next week we'll see the rain chances start to lessen by Veterans Day. But still, we're watching this as it moves across Cuba. That's going to impact the forecast track on where it goes, so some things could change here, so do stay tuned. We still have several days to watch it, and make sure you certainly check in for updates between now and the weekend. But Alabama fans at LSU right now, I'd plan for impacts as far as rain, a good chance there. Also, JSU at La Tech this weekend over at Monroe, you can see a 70% chance for wet weather. And as we look at the extended forecast, 10-day forecast next week and Monday, right now, Veterans Day, we have a 20% chance for a shower, but it looks like the middle of next week, around Wednesday and Thursday, once again, another good chance for wet weather. So we're seeing those rain chances. We go from just completely dry to now a good chance for showers over the next several days. So a lot that we're watching. And Tania, perhaps after the middle of next week, those temperatures start to back off some.
Yeah, but listen, Wes, the rain doesn't look like it's going to back off very much. As we look around Veterans Day through November 15th, much of the U.S. going to be dealing with above average, or I should say above normal precipitation, and that includes us right here at home across central Alabama, 40% chance to be above normal. And as we look at temperatures, some areas dealing with below average temps, areas to the west, Pacific Northwest down to California, New Mexico, but majority of the states across our nation dealing with above average temperatures, and that includes us right here down the southeast, here across central Alabama, including Georgia, the East Coast as well. We might be dealing with warmer than normal conditions as we continue throughout the month of November. But don't go anywhere, because we have your final check of your weather and a look at your photos. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra, and we'll be right back after the break.
All right, we got some lovely photos from the First Alert Weather app. Thank you, Gail, for sharing this view from Cheehaw Mountain.
Those fall colors showing out more and more, Chris, in Tallahassee.
Or Tallahassee.
Oh, Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
I read it quick.
Yeah.
I was about to say, he's in Florida.
Yeah, and Daniel, this was a lovely view. We had the crescent moon and the planet Venus, Tania. I know it was kind of cloudy tonight, but you could really see it last night. That was over Hoover.
And Nick B, a sunset from Pensacola.
There you go. There's your Florida panhandle.
There we go. There we go.
And Ryan Carty, a lovely sunset from Salem, Virginia.
Oh, beautiful.
Photos from all around, but I just want to say, I mentioned the weather app. You can get those weather photos, but if you are traveling for the weekend, we have some away games going on. But with this hurricane now entering the Gulf of Mexico, a lot to watch with that.
Yes, and that also means that a lot of those games are looking pretty wet as of right now.
Yeah, right now, I mean, the way this thing's moving, it looks like it's probably going to weaken towards a tropical storm, but the way it's moving, it can move into Louisiana. There will be some impacts there around LSU. So for Alabama fans, certainly need to watch that for Saturday. I think Saturday and a Sunday could enhance our rain chances. Still, we need to figure out how much rain we could see, but certainly has a potential to bring some much needed rain.
Absolutely, and we're not looking super dry next week either. Still tracking some rain chances middle to late next week, but we'll have all the updates on your forecast.
Yeah, that's right, and election coverage tonight, that's going to continue right here, so stay with us on WVRC for more.
North Carolina, hey, hey. You ready? I'm ready. Oh, take your time, take your time. But that's because a lot of the Atlanta votes aren't coming in because they had to extend all their voting times for the. Oof, this is interesting. It's like watching sports,